What's going on, everyone? So Rob Pelinka spoke on Austin Reaves and talked about how he needs to be better defensively. Last year, he was just atrocious defensively. Until the playoffs, he was actually good in the playoffs. And the previous year, he was actually good. No one's expecting him to be elite. No one's expecting him to be, Jared Vanderbilt level defensively. But can he at least be good? Can he at least be serviceable? Can he at least not be a traffic cone out there or an open door where everyone just gets to constantly walk through, right? Can he at least hold his own on the defensive end? Another thing that Rob Pelinka spoke about is Austin Reaves kind of taking that next step, taking that leap, and compared it to Jalen Brunson. Can he have a Jalen Brunson level leap? And a lot of people are like, Rob Pelinka's crazy, Jalen Brunson. He's actually not. Now, obviously, there are a couple differences, right? Particularly, Austin Reaves is your third, fourth option compared to Jalen Brunson really took his leap when he became the one option, right? First, it was when Luka went down, and then people realized, like, wait a minute, there might be something here. And then he went to the Knicks and was able to take those strides, right? Really comes down to field goal attempts, right? Now, as far as Austin Reaves goes, it's not far-fetched. I've said, even last offseason, that I think even as like the third or fourth option, that Austin Reaves could be a 25-5 guy. Not 25 points, 5-5. Every time I say 25-5, I get a comment that's like, he's not going to be a 25-point-a-game guy. Yes, as the third option, that would be a little tough. Because, again, field goal attempts. He'd have to shoot like 80% from the floor for that to happen. But to think he can't be a 20-point-per-game guy with 5 assists, 5 rebounds, when on a bad year, and which many people think was just a really bad year for him, he still gave you 16, 4, and 6. So to think he can't give you 1 more rebound and 4 more points on a better year and more efficient, right, I just don't really buy. I think he is capable of being that. I don't think he will be able to be Jalen Brunson in the sense of being that 24, 25-point-a-game guy from that year, because Jalen Brunson did dissimilar, right? He had that 16-point-a-game season and then jumped when he went to the Knicks to 24 points per game. And again, that because he was able to take 21 field goal attempts per game, or I think it was 18 that year. And then last year you saw him hit 30 mark, but he was taking 21 attempts per game. Right? So it really is field goal attempts. A couple things that Austin Reaves has on his is size. He's just bigger, not like muscular bigger, right? Jalen Brunson's got a little weight behind him. He's got a good lower center of gravity, but they do have a similar skill set. They both are very crafty in attacking the defense, right? Both can shoot the ball. Austin Reaves had a bad shooting season, but if he can kind of get back to that 40% from three-point range, then him and Jalen Brunson, once again, will be similar in that regard. But Austin Reaves is also 3 inches taller. Right? So he does have some advantages. Jalen Brunson gets the opportunity to be the guy. Right? What does Austin Reaves look like if he's the primary scoring option? What does he look like? It's one of the reasons why I've said I'd like to see Austin Reaves in like that sixth man role. Even if you start him, I'd love to see you play him as just the primary scoring option. Like everyone else is on the bench and it's just like, hey, Austin, you have the green light. And let him get his attempts up and just see what he can do. Last year, his biggest problem was the lack of aggression. He wasn't as aggressive as he was the previous year. Now, supposedly it was tired legs, he was burnt. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt in that, right? You look at what happened. He went from basically being a guy that gets sparing minutes and spot minutes to LeBron James gets hurt. We need somebody to step up. Austin Reaves steps up and then goes from, 12 minutes a game to leading the team in minutes, game in and game out, including into the playoffs, going on a deep playoff run where he's playing the most minutes out of anybody, and then goes into FIBA, then goes in and does the same thing in the Olympics where he is, yes, coming off the bench, but he's playing as more minutes than pretty much everybody. He's playing a huge role in that team, ends up going directly into training camp, going into preseason, and then played all 82 games. I will give him the benefit of the doubt. But if people want, because people, again, are like, Austin, you have the naysayers, they're like, Austin Reaves trash, blah, blah. He's not trash. He had a bad year, and he still gave you 16 points per game as the fourth option, right? Like as bad of a year, like there's players that on a good year, that is that, right? He's an above average player. Is he all-star level? Is he elite? I don't know. I don't know if he'll ever be elite, but all-star level, I don't think is that far-fetched if given the real opportunity, right? If he got the field goal attempts just based on his efficiency, he could get to 23 to 25 points per game, right? Which, if he's 25 and 5, 25, 5 and 5, right, then he would be an all-star. He'd be all-star level. Obviously, in the West, it's really tight. But for those that are like, there's no way he can do that, blah, blah, go look at the playoff run. Go look at the run where he had his emergence. He was averaging 20 a game, right? Like, he's a guy that is capable and has shown the ability to go and get you 20 a night, right? Now, again, it's can he maintain that? Difference is Jalen Brunson is able to maintain that game in and game out, right? That's the difference between stars and your role guys, right? Most role guys can go get you 20 on a random night, right? Most role guys, there's many role guys in this league that can go get you 15 almost every night, right? But when you tell them to take that next step and it's like, hey, I need you to go from 15 to 20 a night. They just can't, right? Like they just have this cutoff. They just have that ceiling. Is Austin Reaves one of those people that have that ceiling? Is Austin Reaves one of those people that 16 points is kind of just where he caps off? Or is he a guy that if given the opportunity, given the field goal attempts, he is capable of game in and game, every night he can go get you, 20 on a bad night. He'll give you, 15. Right, last year, he didn't look like that guy, right? It was, I'll go get you, 18 to 20, or I'll get you 7, right? He was we talked about it all season last year. He'd have these pockets, right? He'd have a 5-game stretch where he looked elite, right? He's out there, he's cooking with the best of them. He's knocking out, he's going 4 or 5 from 3. He's making the occasional play. He's rebounding. He's doing a little bit of everything. It's yes, Reaves is back. Let's go, baby. And then that little pocket would, that little bubble would burst. And then he was just right back to 1 of 5 from 3, not being aggressive, not looking for his shot. It's one of the things that I talked about in the playoffs, right? He really didn't emerge till really the end of game 3, but more so game 4. It was really game 4. And I know people look at the stat line and go, that's not true. Again, watch the actual games, right? Austin Reaves didn't start to play like the Austin Reaves we know that he's capable of playing as until game 4. He was being aggressive. He was hunting, getting in the teeth of the defense. He was creating for himself, right? He wasn't just settling like he was in the previous games, right? That's the difference. That's where Austin Reaves is at his best, when he is attacking the defense. When he's attacking closeouts, putting the guy on his hip, kind of getting to the teeth of the defense and creating, and on occasion creating for others. But I do believe if you put Austin Reaves, he has shown, right, that he can go get you 20 plus a night. He's shown it. He's shown it in the playoffs, in the biggest stages, right? And he's shown it, even in this last playoff run, he had games, right? So again, he's a guy that has shown that he's capable of being him, right? It's I'm him. He's shown the ability to do that. It's just, when you're talking about going to a Jalen Brunson level, right? Jalen Brunson proved he can do that every single game. That every single game, he can go get you on a bad night, 15, right? But on average, he's going to give you, 24. And then he's going to have that explosive game where he goes and gives you almost 40, right? I don't think Austin Reaves is capable of doing that as the third option. Because, again, it's really hard. Jalen Brunson wasn't the Jalen Brunson he's emerged to the last 2 years because he wasn't the first option. He was behind Luka. He was the second option, right? And on occasion, even further down the pecking order, right? So you're asking somebody that's going from third, fourth option to, at best, and will never be better than the third option as long as LeBron and AD are on the team. I just don't see him being able to be a 24-point-a-game guy. I can see him getting to maybe 18 to 20. I mean, again, D'Lo averaged 18 last year. I think Austin Reaves can go get you, 18 to 20 points a night, even as the fourth option. And for those that are like, there's no way Austin Reaves is going to get you 18 as the fourth option. He averaged 16 last year as the fourth option. To think that that's only one more basket. And he struggled to shoot the three ball. If he was more efficient shooting the three ball, he would have been probably an 18-point-a-game guy. So I don't think it's far-fetched that Austin Reaves could get you to 18 to 20 a night. But is that really the emergence that Jalen Brunson is? I think taking the Jalen Brunson leap is a little, I guess, a little ridiculous. Ridiculous, I don't think is the right word, but for lack of a better word, because I don't think the idea of him being a 25-point-a-game guy is ridiculous. I think he is capable of doing that. But as the third option, I think it's a little ridiculous, right? If you're asking him to be the second guy, right? If LeBron is taking, LeBron's just going to chill. He's going to take a back seat. LeBron's going to drop to 20 points a game and let Austin Reaves be a 25-point-a-game guy, then sure, right? But I don't see that happening, right? If Austin Reaves, if LeBron James is willing to basically take a back seat and let Austin Reaves be second behind Anthony Davis, then yes, I think that Austin Reaves can reach those heights. I just don't think that he's going to be able to do that. But, you look at Jalen Brunson and you look at Austin Reaves, they're very comparable. They have a very similar style of play. Austin Reaves has the height advantage. I would argue Jalen Brunson has the stockiness, the lower center of gravity advantage, but both are very meticulous in getting into the teeth of the defense. Both guys can shoot on ball, can shoot on the move, right? Shoot a bit over the top, right? Both guys are very similar in styles of play. And no one knew Jalen Brunson was going to be this Jalen Brunson, right? Until he became this Jalen Brunson as the number one option, though. Right? He went to the Knicks and immediately became the number one option. It's a big difference, right? Now, Austin Reaves, he emerged and is again, a 16-point-a-game guy. Is he able to take that 25? I think it really just comes down to how many attempts. I think it's the options, right? If Austin Reaves gets 17 field goal attempts per game, then I do think that, yeah, he can do that. So real quick, and then we'll wrap up the video here. But again, just to kind of break things down for you guys, right? So you look at the last 2 years with the Knicks. He averaged 24 points and 28.7 points, right? And he went from 16.3 to 24. But it really, again, boils down to the field goal attempts. He went from 12.8 field goal attempts to 17.6 to last season 21.4, right? So that's why he was able to get to the heights in which he was able to get, right? Now, if you look at, say, Austin Reaves, for example, last season, Austin Reaves averaged 16 points per game on, he averaged 11.5 attempts, right? So, again, very similar to the Dallas year. Similar stat line, similar everything, and even the efficiency. Right? The key difference is that Austin Reaves' three-point percentage went from 40% to 37%, which is a big difference because, again, the better shooting you are, the more things open up, all of that jazz. You look at Jalen Brunson and his shooting percentages, right? He went from 37% in Dallas, so again, very similar to Austin Reaves last year, to going to 41.6% and then 40% the last 2 years with the Knicks. So to me, you look at Brunson and you look at Reaves, they are very similar. Their stat lines, point totals, everything are exactly the same. It's just the field goal attempts, right? Jalen Brunson went from 12 attempts to 17, almost 18. Austin Reaves right now is at 11 and a half, let's just say 12, right? 12 field goal attempts. Can he get to 18? Because if he does get to 18 field goal attempts, then yes, I do think he'll be a 20-plus point a game scorer. I think he'll be 22 to 24 a game. That's really what it boils down to, is the field goal attempts. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? You think absolutely no way, not going to happen? Again, go do the research yourself, please. I always encourage people, don't take my word for it. Just listen to Rob Pelinka. Go look at the numbers. Go look at the data. They're the same. It's just that literally the only difference is field goal attempts. Field goal attempts are the difference. If Austin Reaves gets the field goal attempts, he should be able to be that 25-point-a-game guy. In theory. Again, there are some guys that just aren't able to do that, right? Great example is last year with Taurean Prince. You played Taurean Prince in that 10 to 15 minute range. He was excellent. I mean, excellent for the Lakers. All the data backed it up as he's great. But as soon as you played him beyond that 15-minute mark, he just, right? He was unplayably bad at that point, right? You see a lot of similar things with players. Austin Reaves right now is a 16-point-a-game guy. Jalen Brunson was that. Jalen Brunson became the number one option and was able to prove that he could game in and game out continue to do that. Austin Reaves, if he takes that jump, can he prove game in and game out? Because he can go get you a 25 on a random night. He can go get you 25, every handful of games, but can he do it night in and night out? Can a bad night be 15 as opposed to a bad night is 5? That's the difference. But however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.